This group of authentic race-used NASCAR memorabilia relics are from stars and superstars from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. You have Rusty Wallace, 1989 Winston Cup champion, Kevin Harvick, champion. You have Terry Labonte, Carl Edwards, Sterling Marlin, Daytona 500 winner 2 times over, Michel Waltrip, Matt Kenseth, Jack Roush champion, Mark Martin, incredible Hall of Fame NASCAR driver, John Andretti, Clint Bowyer, Kyle Petty, Ryan Newman, Kasey Kahne, Martin Truex, NASCAR champion, Dale Jarrett, Daytona 500 winner, NASCAR champion, and some other of these guys, like Terry Labonte was a 2-time Winston Cup champion, won it like 10 years apart. Actually, I think it was either 83 or 84, and then 1996. So anyway, I'm just going to go through some of these relic cards that I purchased and have the honor of having gone through, and I purchased these along with the other group of relic cards that I have since sold on eBay, and these will be up for sale on eBay as well. If you see the link in this video in the description, if you see the eBay link to my store there, then it's still live. If it's not there, then the auction has ended. So I'm just going to go through these cards one by one, and hopefully you guys see some things that you like. And it's so cool to just have these. You have a triple hat Mark Martin card from, these are all Wheels and Press Pass products. It's from the manufacturer hat, and then also the Nextel Cup hat. You have another triple hat. I think it's so cool that they show which hat it comes from. So cool. Pushing pedals. Like I mentioned in the other video with the other relic cards, the shoes and the gloves really impress me because they seem to be the most race-worn, most obviously race-worn pieces of material that you can get. And just like on a fire suit, you can, probably get a really clean, bland piece, but for the most part, the surface area, the gloves are getting used a lot more, the shoes are getting used a lot more, and the racing suits, I think, are just made out of more of a, they're just, a different kind of fabric and more of a durable material, and they can get dry cleaned and stuff like that, and the shoes are just less worn most of the time. So a Hot Treads card from his Viagra years. See, 2,300 cards, and here's a race used car cover card, which again, it's just, the car cover cards don't impress me that much. They're still really great and interesting to collect, especially if you have a multicolor piece. It makes it more interesting. Just the amount of material that's available makes it a little less special for me. And they're still interesting, and it's still unique. I mean, anything that touches the car or the driver, or that the team uses, is really interesting to be able to have. And, people collect, just like in memorabilia for sports, people collect full fire suits and pit signs and pieces of sheet metal, full front clips off cars. Some people even buy the whole car. There's a community on online where people are showing their NASCARs that they bought and they have in their garage. And I think for the most part, you can get like a 2000s and older race-used NASCAR, or even a show car that actually fires up and you can drive it for, between, I think, like $10,000 to $30,000 is what I remember seeing. Some people ask for more, depending on which car it is and the pedigree and all that stuff, and that's totally understandable. See, the push and pedal, it's just cool. Like the other push and pedal card was more of like a suede material, and this is more of like the cloth. It's either like the inner liner or the top of the sole or the tongue or something like that. And these double hot treads are really interesting because if you flip it over, you have another driver. So you have Matt Kenseth on one side, you have Mark Martin on the other. Really cool. All right, then you have, what do they call him, Happy Harvick. Race Use shirt card. Hot Treads piece of tire card. You can kind of see how thick that piece of tire is. The majority of the products over the years, they got pretty flush, or even had a, a recession or a two-piece cardboard where there was more of like a window. See, like in this Rusty Wallace Relic, it's a thicker card stock laid over on top, so it creates a window, and in essence it's all flush. Oops. And see, like this one, it's a thicker card, and it just has a little bit of a recessed area to put the rubber, and it's really cool. And then you get these big thick cards with the total memorabilia. And these are just obscene. It says race victory tire, and then sheet metal. It's a little piece of multicolor. Kind of see that silver sneaking through right there. Numbered out at 199. Now, I never opened any of the total memorabilia because I wasn't collecting NASCAR cards at that time. See, this again is more like a suede or used up leather, like the Martin. And I never collected any of the 5-star or anything like that, or never got to open any of it. And I really wish I would have. And I guess that stuff is extremely difficult to find now. I've talked about it with some people about how difficult it is to find that stuff sealed and how expensive it would be if it did become available. And I think a lot of NASCAR wax is extremely underrated right now. Even though it's been going up recently, I think a lot of the 80s Max boxes and then the 90s Press Pass wax and Max wax and wheels, as well as Pinnacle Zenith, I think all that stuff is set to make a real big jump once the breakers start to really get into the NASCAR stuff. And I'm not talking just the NASCAR breakers, I'm talking about the other sports cards, because they dabble. They're doing some F1 stuff, and I think it's just a matter of time. Ken Golden was talking about him getting Dale Earnhardt to sign with Scoreboard over another company in one of his recent Instagram live videos, and they're going to start talking about it. And once those folks start really pushing it, as far as the smaller NASCAR, the true collectors of NASCAR are concerned, it's about to be a wild ride, and I think it's going to pretty soon price us right out of the hobby. Hopefully it'll make some people quite a bit of money. That would be great. I'd love to see people succeed, especially with some of that really rare stuff. And some people just won't let it go because they're just diehard NASCAR fans. Just like any sports fan, it's going to be hard to pry it out of some of these people's hands, especially some of those real super collectors that have those insane collections. It's going to be hard to get out of their hands. So it'll be interesting to see if it even happens. My prediction, it will, because there's money to be made by the folks that do that stuff, the auction houses, and they're just promotion gurus. They know how to do it. There's another one of those double hot treads, front and back, Rusty Wallace, Ryan Newman. Terry Labonte. This is really cool because this is part of his shoe, and it's like a silver, which is really neat, like the fire retardant material. Shoe, driver worn hat. Triple hat Terry Labonte. So yeah, I think that it's going to be a feeding frenzy. And I think they're starting with those Earnhardt cards. the rookies, because I think it's just obvious. They know Jeff Gordon, they know Dale Earnhardt, they know Dale Earnhardt Jr., they know some of the other guys, and those are just the ones that they're going to start with. And once they learn more about these, I think it's going to be a tough day for the true NASCAR collectors. Everything's going to get so expensive. And oh boy, lost my train of thought. That's okay. So again, I'm going to be selling these on eBay. If the auction listing is in the description still, then they're available. If not, then that means that they're gone. And go ahead and if you do click, if there is a link in there, go ahead and click it and then save my eBay store, so you'll be able to get notified next time I do list some NASCAR cards. I rarely will sell other sports, just a few things here and there. It's not really my cup of tea. I do like the NASCAR stuff. That is what I focused on when I was a kid. That is what I focused on in my 20s. And then that is what I'm focusing on now, at least for the short term. This one's cool. It's definitely a piece of suede. Martin Truex, NASCAR Cup Series champion. Matt Kenseth. That's a piece of the fire suit. Piece of the hat. The NASCAR Relic cards are just so interesting to me. When they first came out in 1996, they just lit my world on fire. I was so into die-cast, and once those came out, I still collected die-cast occasionally, but the cards got 99.9% of my attention. It just blew my mind that they could melt down a tire. Like, just to imagine the process as a kid, not knowing how that would be done. How to melt down a tire so that they could put it on a card and they would put it in a pack and all of that so I could go after and chase it and I could have a piece of the action. Killer. Absolute killer. Race U shirt card. Alright, let's get to the Mikeys. Another piece of suede on the Race U shoe. Car cover. Corporate cuts. Race U shirt. Another car cover. Old Sterling. Triple hat. This pit sign, that's really cool, that pit stopper. Cool design. The neon, the day glow, or whatever you want to call it. The orange from, the orange is just, it just pops. It's so cool. Carl Edwards. Man, people would love to see this man come back to NASCAR. In the 2000s, we saw a lot of drivers up and retire just when seemingly they had a lot of good racing years left. Carl Edwards would definitely be one of those people. The same thing with Kasey Kahne. Carl Edwards, I think, was a little more of a shock, and I don't think he's ever given a really good reason. You can let me know if he has given a really good reason as to why he retired, but as far as I know, he's just kind of living his life. And as far as when I make these videos, there is a lot I do not know about NASCAR cards, NASCAR drivers, their careers. Even though I followed it for the majority of my life, there's a lot I don't know. So as much as I'm trying to share these with the YouTube community and the collector community for, you know, joyous purposes and information purposes, I'm using this opportunity as an education for myself as well, for the viewers to be able to leave me information. I'm doing Ryan Newman cards now. Leave me information and comments and facts and stats and things that are unique and relevant to the sport, because it's important to know all that stuff. It's important to know who is a champion, what year they won the championship. The fact that there's something only like 35 different champions or 30 different champions in NASCAR history, which is incredible to think. Like, only that many people have had the opportunity to win a championship, and how difficult it is. How difficult it is to win a championship. And there's 3 folks that have done it 7 times. Jimmy Johnson, or, you know, let's start with the King, Richard Petty, Dale Earnhardt, and Jimmy Johnson. Incredibly, incredibly tough to win a NASCAR championship, Cup Series championship, any championship in any series. And we, you know, as the NASCAR community, NASCAR card community, it's important that we know that stuff so that we know which cards are important, why they're important. Is a Chase Elliott 2020 card important because that was the first year he won his championship? If it's a material card, a relic card, if he was a rookie in that year and he won a championship, I think the first year stuff for big milestones like that are really important. If we had an opportunity to have a trading card from Dale Earnhardt or Richard Petty's first year that they won a championship, I think that would be important. There are a lot of champions that we do have those opportunities with, and I think that those should be noticed. Just like if somebody's a World Series champion, I think it's something that should be noticed, that they won the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship. So, all right, I went through those kind of quick. I mean, this is still almost a 20-minute video, so leave your comments. Let me know what you think of these cards. Again, they're going to be up for sale. I'll be selling some more cards soon. I have some Superstar Relic cards like the Jeff Gordons, the Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s, the Jimmy Johnsons, and real unique multicolor pieces of relics that'll be coming soon. So, but not until these are gone. So thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, and hit the bell notification so that you'll be notified whenever I upload a video. All right, thanks guys.